I became a certified housewife, right? So welcome to my channel. My name is Bre'Anna, and I would like to give you a little tea on how I became and how my experience as a CNA is. Yeah, we're gonna jump right into it. So, and it's only right to have tea. If I'm gonna give you a tea about being a CNA, right? Alright, so I became a certified housewife, right? So my expectation about being a CNA, I put it off for so long. Like, I did not want to be a CNA because I was a waitress. Like, I was getting money every day. I was never broke. It was a happy time as a waitress, a happy time. And not to say that I wasn't happy as a CNA or I'm not happy as a CNA, but I've experienced in the almost a year I've been working as a CNA, I've experienced so much so much that it's kind of tainted my my experience, and it's just not for me. So I literally, when I got the certification, I was like, I am a certified ass wiper. I will be going into the nursing home or rehab and wiping shitty asses all the time. That was really my mentality. Like, I didn't think about losing a patient I got close to. I didn't think about people being at their weakest. I didn't think about my coworkers not even trying to help me or even offering help. I didn't think about the lack of compassion you get from your coworkers towards the patients or towards your inability to do the job that the employer thinks you should do at a timely manner. It was just a lot. Like, coming from, I was a waitress at Red Lobster for 4 years. Coming from that setting where, like, everybody helps you when they could, or, you know, you'll help them when you could, and you had an incentive because you had people that you enjoy working with, one, and then two, you had customers that will come and tip you, had regulars that will come and tip you, and you can be yourself. You can have you can kind of improv and switch up your personalities according to the customer. As a CNA, nah, bro, you can't do that. Like, you can't switch up. You have to be professional. You have to be empathetic. You have to be compassionate. You have to be alert. You have to be able to have a keen eye and look out for certain things, bed sores, aggression, changes in moods, eating patterns. Like, you have to look out for mad shit. Like, you're literally a babysitter. I hate to say that, but you're literally a babysitter for these old people that can't do all the things that we can do on a daily basis. And it makes you think, like, wow, like, when I get older, am I going to be in a situation? And if I am going to be in a situation, I hope that somebody as myself will take care of me the way that I would take care of this patient, because I want to be able to be alive and well, and I want to be taken good care of. And when I say I had practically no help, like, when I would ask somebody to help me with a patient, it will always be an excuse. That's not my patient, or go have the nurse help you with the neck roll and all that shit, or give me a second, they'll never show up, or no, I don't like that patient, you're gonna have to ask somebody out. Or I would have to, like, get the manager to help me, and the manager would be so willing to help me, and I was grateful for that. Like, I never had a manager that was willing to, like, really come outside her comfort zone to, like, help a person that needed help. And I appreciate that manager. Like, she's a good, somewhat good manager, but I really appreciated that. So this one lady, I called her, like, my aunt, whatever, because, like, she was just nice to me and I felt at home. Like, so another background story, I moved from New York City to Buffalo to pursue my radiologic technician degree. So coming from New York City and then coming to Buffalo, I have practically no family here except for my cousin. Practically no family here. So I'm in a work environment where I'm by myself and I have no one to talk to. I have no one that's going to help me, and have no one that's going to, you know, just be there just to talk to me. Like, you get lonely on your shift at times. And it makes sense when people say, like, the people that you work with make your job better. And the people that I worked with at this facility did not make my job better. So it made me not want to come to work. It made me just be aggy that I'm waking up and coming to this environment of negativity and then sorrow because the patient is dying, or the patient is deteriorating, or the nurses won't help you, or the nurses are too busy with their documentations that they can't even help you with a simple 5-minute task. So yeah, back to the first day. The first day I had like, it was a bad day. I had like 8 patients. So we had like 4 aides. I had 8 patients. And at that same time, I was in the dining room. So I had 2 hours to get up the therapy people and the people that needed to be in the dining room. When I tell you I had nobody up at that time, like, I was so discombobulated. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to prioritize. Like, I'm literally multitasking. So I'm starting at 100 to 107, and I'm trying to get everybody up in that order. Not even thinking about who has therapy. Like, forget therapy. I'm trying to get Oya up because I'm trying to be done for the day. And at the same time, you have to do your POCs, your point of care, your documentation. I didn't do none of my documentation until an hour before we had to leave. And I will be at the job, I swear to God, I'll be at the job for like an hour and a half to 2 hours doing my documentation after the time that we had to go home. So I'll be there, we get off at 2. I'll be there until like 3:34 doing my documentations. So this one lady, the one I call my aunt, whatever, she would, I would ask her, like, oh ma'am, can you help me with this patient? Can you help me with such and such? Can you help me boost up this patient? And she'd be like, yeah. And then like, we'll go back and forth and help each other. So she got aggravated for me because at the time, I didn't know how to voice how I felt. Like, I'm just taking this in and I'm just like getting aggravated all by myself. So she got aggravated for me, and she went to the nurse and she went to the aide. She was like, yo, like, she needs help. She has 2 Hoyers on this side. Yeah, there was a lot of Hoyers on that side too. She has 2 Hoyers on this side. She needs your help. She's only one person and she's new. So y'all need to like help her. The nurse was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that she needed help. Mind you, I'm running back and forth and I'm literally in the middle of the hallway saying, can somebody help me with this Hoyer patient? He has to go to the dining room. She's at the cart, I think, trying to administer pills. Understanding like you multitasking too, but at the same time, like, we have to work together. Had it not be me, you would be doing this all by yourself, Miss Nurse. Like, you'll be doing pills, you'll be wiping ass, and you'll be helping feeding. Without a CNA, you'll do all that fucking shit. So I need your help. So she basically helped me with like half my patients and had me put them in the dining room, and then I had to also feed people that were on different halls that were also in the dining room. So we have one reserved table for the limited, the extensive, or the totally dependent, right? One reserved table, and other tables are for like independent people that just need supervision, just in case they choke or whatever, or they have a lot of saliva, or they don't swallow properly. So it was just a rough first day, and it just made me look at everybody differently. And there was another time, there was this one lady who, now for some reason we cool, and I go back to the respect thing. Like, once you've been there for a certain amount of time, you earn their respect, and they don't think that you're just like a weakling. Like, they actually look at you like, okay, so she could pull her weight. And at that time, I understand that I couldn't pull my weight because I had no experience. I didn't know what I was doing, so I needed somebody to help me most of the time. But these aides, they do a lot of the stuff you're not supposed to, a lot of stuff by themselves, just to get it over with, because they don't feel like asking for nobody help. They don't feel like going around searching for people, because most of the aides be hiding due to the fact that they don't want to work. So she had this one patient, and she got her ready, but she didn't give her no socks. She had left on a regular, you know, the white socks that doesn't have the slip protecting on the bottom. You're supposed to have on non-slip socks. So she didn't have those socks on. This patient is prone to falling. So I went to her and I was like, oh, so are you gonna give this patient some socks? She's like, shut up, leave me alone. I'm like, how are you telling me to shut up if I'm trying to help you make sure the patient is safe? Like, that's your #1 concern. Like, you're taking care of this patient. Why is that not your concern to make sure that she's not gonna fall? Like, why are you getting mad at me if I'm telling you how to do your job? Me and her got into it plenty of times. Like, I don't hold my tongue no more towards anybody. Like, nobody can censor how I feel or how I'm speaking to them. Because, like, at the same time, I feel like if we're working together, we get the same pay. Like, there is not a heightened respect. Like, you're my coworker, you're not my boss. Like, so so it brings me to the point of making friends. So I had the lady that was like my aunt, and then I had met this other girl. She was from New York, she was from Brooklyn, I was from Queens, so you know, it's an automatic connection. And we would just like go around and help each other and joke about some of the aides and what they be doing, and joke about what the patients would do, or like the remarks they would say. It'll make the day go faster. Like, it really helps when you have a person that you work with, that you are cool with, and you can laugh with, to make your day just 100% better. If not, you're going to be lonely. Everything that is going on with the patient or yourself is going to consume you, and you're going to just feel like there's no end to it. Also, when I first started, so I believe like the first 4 months, I was overexerting myself. Like, if I had to boost up a patient, I wouldn't do the proper body mechanics to like boost up a patient, or I would try to tackle a patient that is 3 times my size. And all that overexertion, like helping people that wouldn't help me, or doing stuff for a patient that they can clearly do for themselves, I got burnt out real quick. And I don't get burnt out real quick. Like, I like the rush, I like multitasking, I like doing things for people. Like, I have no problem with that. But like, I would do a lot for a patient, like literally do their whole body, when all I had to do was just stand there and watch them. I will overexert myself, and from that I developed sciatica. I never had sciatica as a waitress. Never, like never. I started working here, my feet started to swell. I developed sciatica, so it will be times where my thigh will go numb, or my back would just feel tight, and it would be like that tingling, irritating sensation. Like, it would, I would just overexert myself. So anybody that's coming out there, just be aware. Like, take care of yourself. Don't overexert yourself. Help who you can at the time that you know you can do it. Like, don't just do everything for everybody and they're not going to do that for you. Don't be me. So you have patients that, mostly in a nursing home / rehabilitation center, you have patients that have broken bones, or they sprained a muscle, or they tore a ligament, or you have patients that have Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, C. diff, MRSA, the list goes on. So with those problems, you can encounter different personalities, different capabilities, and just the all-around very complicated experience with that patient. And you just have to be aware. There's been stories that I've heard from other aides where an aide was spit at by a patient when she was cleaning her. There was a aide that got scratched so deeply that she had to get stitches. I had an encounter with a patient where the patient hit me in my face with a newspaper like I was a fucking dog. And you can't get mad at them. You can't even, I mean, at the time of the incident, yeah, you're gonna have an attitude like, wow, I just got punched in my fucking face, or I just got choked, or so, just spit at me. But at the same time, it's like, they're not aware of what they're doing. There was a time a patient rolled me over with his wheelchair because I was in the dining room at that time, and he was on hospice. He was a big guy. He had like a big hernia in his stomach, and he wanted to leave the dining room. So at the time, I didn't know that you can allow a person to leave the dining room at any time that they can. So I'm like, oh, so you have to wait until everybody is done with their food, and I'll take you out once you're done with your dessert. No, I don't want to leave. Get the fuck out my way. And he pushes me with his wheelchair. So I'm looking like, what that wheelchair about to do to me? Like, you rolled over my thick shoe, but at the same time, why are you trying to harm me when all I'm trying to do is just trying to make sure that you're okay to where you're trying to go? Like, at the same time, I was taking care of him too. I would get all the mean patients for some reason, like all the mean patients. I had this one Hispanic guy who was a Hoyer, and every time he would get in a Hoyer, he would shake it. Understanding he was scared of the height or he had a traumatic experience, but why would you shake it to make it fall? Like, it's just some things that patients do that you just can't comprehend. What's another one? So this job is extremely draining, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Extremely. Physically, you are overexerting your body, and it's just a lot on you. Like, you have to help a person stand up on the stand lift or to sit the stand, or you have to reposition a person that is slouching in a wheelchair, or a person that's about to fall out of a wheelchair, or a person that's about to fall out of bed. You have to reposition them. You have to use your upper body strength and your lower body strength to adjust them correctly for their safety. And that is a lot on a person who doesn't stretch, who doesn't exercise, who is just going about life all lollygaggy, as I am. It is emotionally draining. I had this one patient, and I called her my grandmother. I was very close to her. It's ironic. She was Aquarius. I'm Aquarius. Her birthday was February 18th, and my birthday was February 15th. And we just grew so close. So she came from, she went from so many stages. She came from a home, fell at home, came to the rehab facility. She could walk and all that, and then from walking, she couldn't walk. She started to contracture, and then she had a bed sore that went from stage 1 to unstageable. Then she went to hospice. So her lifespan within the time that I knew her just dramatically decreased so quick. And I would make sure whenever someone else had her, if it wasn't me, I would make sure, like, I would double check how clean she was. I would double check if they brushed her teeth, or if they brushed her hair, or if they lotioned her skin, because she had real bad dry skin. And I would make sure that she'll be lotioned up, because you know, a lot of patients, they say, if you're taking the course, they say that you have to lotion the patient only in certain areas or around one side of the back. That's bad, because patients get dry, like sandpaper dry, and their skin flakes. When the skin flakes repeatedly, you start to see wounds. And then, like, on top of that, they're not eating as much as they should. They're not getting the nutrition because they're not eating as much as they should. And they're older, so like their body doesn't function as quickly as a younger person like myself, or a person that's like 40 would operate. So yeah, I grew a close bond with her, and every time her family would come, she would be like, oh my god, this is Bree, this is my adopted granddaughter, I love her, I love Bree. I remember this one time, just for the hell of it, I went into her room and I gave her a mani-pedi, I lotioned her whole body, and I gave her finger waves in her hair, just because I wanted to, like, and that right there made her day. Like, she was smiling from ear to ear. She couldn't stop smiling. She had the glimmer in her eye, like, oh my god, Bree, like, you just made me feel so special and so beautiful. And I'm like, I'm glad I can make you feel that way. Like, and it makes you feel good about yourself that you can make a person feel so happy and so good. It makes you really feel good. I got attached to her, and she passed like 3 days before. No, she passed actually a week before my birthday. And I was so, like, just tore up about it. Like, I cried, and I called my mom, I called my boyfriend. I was like, oh my god. I called to Lulu. I was like, Lulu died, like, oh my god. And my mother was like, you know, trying to like cheer me up. My boyfriend was doing the same thing. He was like, you know, people go to special places, and you can't really hold them onto earth if it's their time to go. I understood that, but it's like, damn. And I lost my grandmother at an early age, so it's like I kind of connected with her. I didn't really have a chance to really connect with my grandmother because I was so young. It's nothing wrong gaining attachment with patients. Just be aware that they're not going to be around for a long time. If they are on hospice or if they are in rehab, they're going to go home. Like, you are a short period in their life. If you do an exponential job with them, or if you are a memorable aid and you made their experience at the rehab or the nursing home just so special, then they'll remember you, and then like you'll be part of their life. I mean, you are part of their life for that time period. Then you have people that are declining in health. Like I said before, like Lulu was a great example. Like she went from walking to laying in the bed contraction. You have people that that are just emotionally sad. Like nobody comes to visit them. You're the only person that they see day in and day out. Like you are their family. And it kind of saddens me. Like there's people that come there just for the validation. Like, okay, so I came today, so you gotta go next month, or I have to come. I'm gonna go there to see her every month. And this will be their mother, their aunt, their grandmother, and it's like they get so busy in their life that they can't even take a time out to see the person that needs them the most, you know? You got patients that have amputations. There was another patient who already had an amputation prior to her coming to the rehab facility, and later found out that her leg that they told her early on was going to be healthy and she could keep the leg, developed gout and then a blood infection. They had to amputate it before it came up to her heart. She was not the same. Like she used to be a cheerful lady that's like always full of like laughter and jokes, and we would have like little split conversations, little short conversations. And after she lost that second leg, she just was never the same. She cried every day. I would go to her and read her biblical verses. I would try to like comfort her and make her feel like, you know, your situation is not that bad. There's people that can't talk. There's people that are bedridden. There's people who are mentally disabled. You have no legs. Yes, that's a bad situation, but at the same time, you can get prosthetics. You can be able to walk. There's ways around it. Like your life is not over. You can still do what you want to do, or you can still prosper as do I like my job? I like my job to a certain extent. I like my job because of the patients. I like my job because of what I have to do, but I like the job because I like my patients and I like the joy that I bring to them. But if I had to do this for free, no. Sorry, but no. I've learned that I have no problem multitasking, prioritizing, getting a patient ready, helping them with ADLs, preparing them for the day and getting them ready. So I have no problem in that department. But it's just, like I said, it's just mentally, physically, and emotionally draining. That's what I have a problem with. And I have an issue with, I consume a lot of feelings that I compress. So that's kind of bad for me. So it just messes with my aura, going to that job and being around those people and being around patients who technically aren't the best. They're not mentally well, they're not physically well. It's just saddening. It's really saddening. But that's not to say to turn your head away from being a CNA. Go for it. It's really a good experience. Like you really learn so much about yourself. You learn so much about people. You'll be able to detect certain characteristics. You can read people better. It's just something that you kind of want to do if you are going to be in the medical field, because you're going to be around much more. So maybe the nursing home / rehab is just the start. I'm going to be around so many different people, so I have to, it's like a preparation. So I got my preparation. Now I want to just do something different. I'm just over the job. I'm over the job. I'm burnt out. I overexerted myself. I'm just over it. Like, and I repeat, being a CNA is not for everybody, and kudos to everybody that is still a CNA and that is doing more than a CNA, like they're promoting themselves from a PCT or EMT. Like, kudos to y'all. But nah, I can't. But yeah, that's all I have to say regarding this video, regarding my experience. It wasn't a bad experience. I learned a lot about myself, like I said before, but I know when to leave.